Like wasabi, yeah, love the way she likes it. She ain't fucking with nobody. But with you, she put her in the system. Frosty, she get naughty. Yeah, she shitting on you bitches, call you hoes a porta potty.
Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to an amazing episode of Around the Loop. Now, this episode is like no other, and I say that a lot, but this one's, I really mean it. Reason being, it's actually the last interview of the year, last interview of season 1. And what, great way not to end this year with a bang. So I'm very honored, very glad that I have Clint today with A.T.L.P Live, and very blessed to have him today on the show. So thank you very much for being on the episode of Around the Loop. Really appreciate that. And tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate you having me on. It's been pretty cool what you've been doing. I've been checking out your Instagram, and anything that's related to helping out us creatives is a huge thing. Just giving people a voice to in a platform. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
So I own a creative platform called A.T.L.P Live. The website's doubletaplive.com. We do music videos, live shows, podcasts, short films. So pretty much just, we're out of Oceanside, California. It started in 2020.
Okay.
Just anything creative, really. I've done a lot of videos and music videos, but it expands outside of that.
So I actually wanted to ask you, what was actually, just to give the folks of Around the Loop a little taste about who you are, a little background about who you are first before we jump into where you're at now. I wanted to ask you, how was your upcoming? How was your childhood? To let the world know a little bit about who you are.
Yeah.
Personal side about you, if you don't mind sharing. It's totally up to you.
Let's get into it. So I think a big part of my childhood or growing up was baseball, actually.
Really? Okay.
So that was pretty much my whole life up until I graduated high school, was playing baseball. So I think that helped a lot with like adversity and overcoming a lot of challenges. And baseball is a game of failure, especially.
Okay.
So, and in the music industry or production business, you face a lot of challenges, adversity, a lot of failure.
Okay.
So I think that was huge as far as teaching me like how to deal with it and overcome challenges.
Okay. So, wow. And I wanted to ask, okay, so, are you native here from Oceanside, Carlsbad, around the area, or did you move from somewhere else?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, born and raised in Oceanside.
Okay.
So went to El Camino High School, actually.
Okay.
Lived here my whole life, and then after high school, I moved to New Mexico, actually.
Oh, wow.
So Las Cruces, New Mexico.
And how is that?
Very different. No beach. It's like deserty. There's not a lot as far as like out. So I lived in Las Cruces. The population is like 100,000.
Okay.
Which is very big for New Mexico. So I went there for school, and then I actually worked at a radio station out there.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got introduced into the whole music scene a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Through the radio station. And then, I wanted to expand it and start my own thing. And that's why I started what I did. So.
No, that's amazing. How did you come up with the name A.T.L.P Live? Where's that inspiration came from? Just curious.
Yeah. So actually, Shay, my buddy Shay, he helps out with a lot of projects, equipment wise. He helped me come up with that name. I feel like we live in a world where everything is social media.
True.
Everything is double tapping on your phone, likes.
Okay.
And we're transitioning to an age where everything is technology. Everyone is, drawn into their phone. So really just wanted to create something where we bring that to life and kind of separate, the social media to the real life of the music scene, and not making it all about your phone, but doing things in person and having that experience in person.
Wow. So is this something you started? Was it something you were doing when you were younger too? Was there any exposure to this when you were younger? Did you do anything from like YouTube channels or any videography or this is just like
So yeah, it's
How
pretty
does that inspiration come
different.
from?
Yeah, a lot of it is from, I feel like baseball actually. Growing up baseball, you listen to music, you listen to. I like grew up listening to a lot of hip hop actually.
Okay,
Um,
that's neat.
you know, some like straight out of Compton, like
Okay.
old school hip
Yes,
hop.
sir.
And I feel like baseball, you have to have confidence
Mhm.
because it is such a game of failure. And so I grew up listening to hip hop. And funny enough, I'm actually Hispanic. I don't look like it, but you know, the music in Hispanic culture is very different also. So I just grew up around music a lot, and you know how it is. You like
Yeah.
to party, dance, and
Oh no, it's
immerse
amazing.
yourself into it.
And how's the culture with you on your side? I mean, are you more, do you know more about your family roots, or do you know a little bit about it, or somewhat? Or have you ever been out to Mexico, or whatever the case is?
So I went to Mexico for the first time this year, actually. So
Nice.
not much before I started this. But yeah, just growing up, baseball and music. That's how I got introduced into music and became a fan of music. I've also liked films, just watching movies and stuff.
Okay.
So I just wanted to find a way to involve myself in the music industry, and I think the best way to do that was through film, like recording video, actually. So that was a huge part of it. Yeah.
And so when it came to doing that, like, when you and your buddy got to it and got together with coming up with this idea, like, do you remember the day where you locked in and you were like, you know what, this is what I want to do, this is what we should do, we're all in on this? Do you remember that day, or can you tell us a little bit about that, or how this came about, where you really got together and you said, oh, we're gonna take it serious, and move forward?
I don't know if there's an exact moment, but I feel like in 2020, which I feel like a lot of people started things in 2020. I was working at the radio station and then came home during the pandemic and was like not doing anything at all.
Okay, I see.
And I just always wanted to start something, and radio station introduced me to that scene, but I wanted to do more for it. So then when I came home, I would just think about different ideas, and I wanted people in Oceanside to have a platform. Because it's always LA or San Diego, more so LA, where people go to.
It is. It's true.
So I wanted to have artists or people have the opportunity here in Oceanside.
And I believe Oceanside is honestly a beautiful like midway point.
Exactly.
For between San Diego and LA.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's exactly why when I started the podcast too, I started it to tell my ladies cousin out, and that's where the inspiration came from. And from there, I just kept going and going, and I was like, well, why not try to get back to the city I grew up in, Oceanside, and share the talent. There's so much talent, from comedians to artists to producers to...
There's a lot here.
There's so much. Yeah. So much. And I'm excited for season 2 for this upcoming year. Like, there's a lot coming for you guys, and just stay in tune for that. So it's going to be neat. And I wanted to ask you, let's talk a little bit about your short film, Headstock, the horror film that you just recently released. Because I actually took the time to watch it. And you guys, I'm going to put the link in the bio so you guys can watch it, because it's hands down, it's really nice. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So this is the first narrative short film that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I've done music videos since 2020, and it's been constant music videos. And I've really immersed myself in the scene of music videos. And I'm going to tell the whole story how I got to the short film.
Yeah.
But pretty much...
Well, let's backtrack to the music, and let's go there first before we get to this then.
Yeah.
So, who was your first artist actually that you worked with?
Ooh. So it was this guy in Albuquerque, New Mexico, actually. We found this guy on TikTok. He was doing pretty well. So I reached out to him. He agreed.
That's cool.
Woke up at like 6 a.m, drove 3 hours to Albuquerque, shot the video, drove back, edited it, finished it, put it out like the next day.
Holy shit.
And it got like, 2,000 views the next day. And that was my first like music video that I did. And then ever since then, I just took off with working with people here, actually, because did one music video there, came here, and then worked with different artists out here. So with all these music videos, I've even done artists or worked with artists in LA. I've been privileged to work with Grammy Award-winning artist on a music video. We did like a Tiny Desk, like, have you seen Tiny Desk?
Of course.
It was like that style.
Really?
In his Hollywood living room.
And how did that, honestly, how is that feeling? Because I can only imagine you just being there. What, so real, or how was that?
it was pretty cool. So the reason why I met him was I did a music video in LA, sent him the work, not really thinking anything of it.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, like I'm having a Grammy nomination party. Like come out for it."
Oh shit.
So he was an engineer for Kanye's Donda. So he did that.
What? Okay.
So I went to the nomination party. I met all these cool people.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year later, we actually ended up doing like the Tiny Desk style video. And so that was like a pretty big project, you know, it was really cool doing that. And then, yeah, I just worked with a lot of people here in Oceanside, San Diego. Yeah, I feel like working on all these films, sometimes people get lost in their craft a lot.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've worked with people where they like kind of become a little crazy with what they're doing. They become so obsessed with their work that it takes away like the human aspect to them a little bit. Like,
so if you could describe that a little bit more for the audience, like, because some of them, you know, I have folks from all over the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, for some of the audience that are on the other side of the world, like, to describe it so they get a better understanding too. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, getting so lost in it and stuff like that. So what are like some of the signs, or what are some of the characteristics that are, you know, show?
Yeah. I feel like it's what we see on TV and TikTok and with these celebrities too, where a lot of people talking about like selling their soul.
I've heard of that.
You know, I know it's like it's just like a phrase or whatever, but people become so obsessed and they want to succeed and become famous so bad that they lose touch of who they once were.
I see. Okay.
So, you know, that type of thing, and you know, staying up all night and just like, oh, we need to get this video done, and you know, they become kind of crazy while doing it. So the reason why I'm talking about all this is that's what sparked the idea for Headstock.
Okay.
Is because it was about a videographer who became crazy and worked with this girl who plays a guitar. She's a musician. So he got so obsessed with his videography craft that it consumed him, and he ended up capturing that girl.
And that was the dinner
that
was being cooked. Yeah, that was phenomenal. And I was just watching them in the crafty attention to detail. Like, how long did it actually take you to film that? Let's talk a little bit about the process behind that, behind Headstock. How was that?
So I wrote the script in February of this year, actually.
Okay.
It was a 12-page script.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote the script and then I casted. So I casted actors from here in San Diego.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was like through this website or whatever, and I would like kind of interview people and meet with these actors, and I chose who I wanted for the film. Then once we did that, I've had different podcasts and meetings with actors to get familiar with them, and I feel like that's really important with who I work with, is making sure that they're comfortable with me and I'm comfortable with them.
That's cool.
Because I think that's a huge part of working.
It is.
A lot of people just work and they don't even get to know the person, you know, but which is cool. But I like to get to know the people that I'm working with, because it's my videos and I take a lot of pride in it. So casted for about a month, found the people, and then just selected some dates, and we did it in about 2 days. So the living room shots was one day. The girl with the guitar, that was one day.
Okay.
And then I did a lot of B-roll shots outside of that, just on my own free time. So
that was I was paying attention to that, and the attention and detail to the video was it was so keen, because it's like all the different angles. It's so captivating. Even my lady this morning, she was getting ready to for her little breakfast that she was meeting with her friend, and she got distracted too heavily. She just got distracted into the video and stuff. And and I loved it, and I'm definitely going to put it on the bio for everybody to watch. You know, make sure you guys go out there, show some love and support. Make sure you watch it, because it's phenomenal. And do you have, so have you won any awards from this? So you can let the people know.
Yeah, so submitted it to different festivals. I was selected for IndieX, is a festival in LA.
Okay.
I got nominated for an award, but they're not going to have their screening till next year, actually, next spring.
Interesting. Okay.
So I won't find out like which award it is yet. But I got selected, nominated for that. And then I was selected for a short film in Atlanta, Georgia, which I got back about a couple months ago from that one. So that one was pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Was that your first time in Atlanta, Georgia?
It was first
So
time
how
in the
was
South.
that? Ooh, how was that experience for you?
Waffle House is pretty good.
It's 10 out of
It's
10.
amazing. Yeah.
I was stationed out there in the East Coast when I was in the service, and I was in North Carolina. So yeah, Waffle House is
Yeah.
10 out of 10. There's
Eating there at 2 a.m. Yeah, it's pretty good.
oh, amazing. I wish they had one here.
Yeah, first time out there. That was a very unique experience. I got invited out there. The venue was like a small theater.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of in some random neighborhood, and
Mhm.
there was like a couple horses outside actually. So it was
Interesting.
very unique. So that was a really cool experience. Just to be invited for that, and I got to speak in front of the theater and the crowd too. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
And how was that for, being in front of everybody? Like, how was that feeling?
Um,
Do you do a lot of public speaking, or is
I-
it something that took a while for you to get there?
I don't really do a lot of public speaking. I've done different podcasts and things of that nature. I feel like when I talk about the things I'm very passionate about, it's easy. Like if I were to talk about some random class assignment or something I don't really care about, then I don't like it. But if I'm talking about something that I love, then I can talk about it for hours.
Okay. I appreciate that. And so as far as like this film, is there another one up in the works that you plan to do soon? Or is it do you plan to actually do a full movie?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely thinking about some other projects. Yeah, different short films for sure. I want to get into. Probably not going to get into the details of it.
No, yeah. So
But-
everybody's got to wait for that. It's worth it.
Yeah, no, I definitely want. I'm looking to do something very soon, actually.
Nice.
So beginning of next year, hopefully.
Okay. And any other music artists or any music videos you're doing sometime soon, or any honorable mentions that any artists you want to mention?
Did a music video this morning actually, so that was cool. We
Oh,
can
wow.
expect that pretty soon.
wow.
Yeah, always trying to work with different artists in San Diego. So if you're an artist in San Diego, feel free to hit me up.
And how's that process? Just to reach out to you. Like, is there, for people that are curious?
Really, I would say the easiest way to contact me is follow the Instagram, Double Tap Live, and just reach out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no really specific. A lot of the videos I do with now are actually kind of word of mouth, which I'm very grateful that
Oh wow.
people just recommend and suggest. Shout out Cam 14K.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
actually doing this.
So
interview with you.
how did that happen with you guys?
So with him, honestly, okay, it actually goes back to shout out to Balance. So it was actually Balance that got me introduced to Cam 14K, and I was actually he was telling me, he's like, hey, you should meet him, you should hit him up, and I reached out to him, and he was like, yeah, I'm all about it, let's do it. And he was like, oh, I'll hit you up when I'm in Oceanside, or I'm back in town, because he was out of town for a little bit. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, let's set that up. And I was on my way to Vegas, and he so happened to be in the area, so we actually shot our first episode over there. And that's how we just kept in touch. And for a while, he mentioned about you. He was always talking about you and stuff. And actually, he was showing me the music videos that you guys shot together and everything. And no, the attention to detail is, you definitely need the more exposure to that. You definitely need your flowers for that, because that was, you do an amazing job, especially with all your music videos, with all your different artists and stuff. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and I can imagine how much work you put into that.
Oh yeah, that means a lot. So thank you, I appreciate that.
So how's your friendship relationship with Cam 14K? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we've been working for a very long time actually. He was like the second Oceanside artist that I've worked with in 2021 or whatever it was. So we've done a lot. We've been locked in. I feel like our visions align. He's always down to work, and he's very consistent with it.
Okay.
Which is what I like too, of someone that is consistent. And he gives me my creative freedom, which I really appreciate also. He pretty much just sends me the songs and is like, hey, do whatever you want with it. And that works out very well. I've had artists where they have their own ideas. And I can do that. I like doing that.
Yeah.
But also I like to expand and to kind of take control of the ideas and shoot it by him and see what he thinks, and he likes it. So
yeah, so it's not like something you automatically do what you want, and then you're like, all right, cool, just without running it. And that's really neat that you do that as a business owner too, and a professional at what you do at your craft. it is important to be able to show that, okay, hey, what do you think about this? And if they're like, hey, I love it, let's rock it, let's roll,
Yeah.
then let's do it. And the creativity, how do you, what inspires you with that creativity? Where do you get it's just like little things or what?
Yeah, I mean, I take bits and pieces from other things, but I like to do a lot of just from what comes from my mind, and I would like to be as different as possible. And I know that's pretty cliche. I feel like everyone's trying to be different. But
Which
I'm
is
not
understandable, but I get you. I get it.
I'm not afraid to just like do something that's sounds horrible and just like try it. And if it's horrible, then it sucks. But like I have the idea, and I like to just kind of do things that no one has really thought about. And a lot of the energy that we do in our videos is like actually live on the spot. Like we've done shows, and we're doing music videos in the middle of a show. And I feel like that's pretty cool because it's like the energy is very like raw and natural. So I think I like to do that too.
That's really neat. No, and I love seeing that. Like I paid attention to. Wow, you had a number of different artists on there, which is really neat. And is there any other upcoming folks that or anybody that you would love to actually work with in the future? Anybody in your field too that you would actually like collaborate with, or what can you let the people know?
Yeah, no one specific comes to mind. I'm open to working with anyone.
Okay.
One thing that I'm looking forward to doing though is colliding both the music videos with the short films and getting the artists that make music involved with my short films, and kind of having the film world that I know and the music video world come together, and people that make music help out with the films, and filmmakers could get music from them, and everyone just works together.
So do you have any artists in mind that you would want to attempt to at least have for that, to do a short film with?
There's a few artists in mind. Probably not going to say names right now, but there's definitely a few where, or really anyone local that is from Oceanside or San Diego. I'm really open to working and including them in the short films that I do. I'm
definitely going to have to send you I have a handful of people that are definitely worth your time as well, and they have phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth.
For sure.
So I appreciate that. And I wanted to ask a couple of little personal questions. Is there any favorite foods, any places that you like to go eat around, any local places?
Get into the nitty gritty right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Some foods. Geez, can't go wrong with some good old Mexican food.
Okay. What's good? Because I know there's a list that you can go on and on.
Some good food.
Meat.
Board and Brew.
Okay.
I'm picking from the crowd right here.
Yeah, no, and it's all Gucci.
There's a place that's Shake Shack, but actually by in Orange County. It's not the Shake Shack that you're thinking of.
No, it's a separate one.
Separate one. That's very good.
I'll have to definitely check it out.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, me? Wow. That's actually a great question. Usually go from anywhere like birria tacos. I'm easy to go to, like carne asada tacos too, or Mexican food as well. Can't go wrong with Chinese food as well.
Yeah.
Just love that too.
I just like food.
Yeah, honestly, foodie in general.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good.
I like some water. Stay hydrated.
No, it's important to drink your water because, a lot of people be out passing out or having that dry skin. Drink your water.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
So, is there any, from music artists that inspired you to who you are today? You mentioned NWA. Is there any other folks, any honorable mentions that shaped you who you are today?
Honestly, I like Travis Scott. And the reason for that is the energy that he gives off. And I try to do the same with my music videos as far as the experience. So a lot of people like his music because of the experience they feel during his concerts and the live shows. And that goes with anything. Like, you like certain things because of how it makes you feel.
True.
So that's why when I do these short films with the actors, I have podcasts with them. I have meetings with them. Like, I'll go to lunch with them. And on set is a very fun environment. Like, we're working, but it's also about the experience and how they're feeling. And also the people watching it feed off of that too. Like, the actors are very comfortable with each other. The music videos, I've said this before to plenty of people, but if you ask me for a burrito, I'm not gonna just give you the burrito. I'm gonna give you a nice plate. I'm gonna give you a nice fork, seat, table, and I feel like I try to do the same with all my music videos and work. Where you ask me for one idea, and I'm gonna expand on it and give you more than what you asked for.
No, that's phenomenal.
And I think, like, if you go to a Travis Scott show, it's not just the music that he's performing; it's the lights, it's the fireworks, it's everything around it.
There's a lot to it.
So I think I like to feed off of those.
Have you been to a Travis Scott concert? Have you had the opportunity?
Okay. I have not.
I haven't either yet, but I'm looking forward to it one day these days.
I've only been to one concert, and it was Jack Harlow.
Really? No way.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea, but
no, that's pretty cool though. I had the chance to see Juice WRLD and Ski Mask when they were touring together.
How was that?
It was phenomenal. It was an experience like no other. I was honestly blessed to be able to see that because that's one of one kind of experience.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see that again.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a fan of music. There's no one, like, I can listen to Frank Sinatra one day and I can listen to Travis Scott another day. Like, I just like the music, and I'm a big fan of, like, instrumentals too.
Okay.
Like, I would listen to movie soundtracks or
that's dope.
Interstellar, Hans Zimmer. Like, I'm a big fan of the whole composure of music also, not just.
Okay. And have you actually seen any live performances like that? Like orchestra?
I haven't. I know he does it. He's been doing it recently, but I haven't. No.
That'll
be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat. And
start a GoFundMe.
It definitely should.
Put me in the concerts.
That'd be cool.
I'll take a video of Hans Zimmer and do all that.
Is there any films or any movies that you personally like that you would like to share out there? Any of your personal ones?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tarantino's movies.
Okay.
So I like a lot of his work. Pulp Fiction, Kill Bills. I also like, horror thriller, like Midsummer, Hereditary. I'm a big fan of those.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen those, but
I've seen the Midsummer.
Yeah. So I just like psychological also.
Okay.
Make you think about what I'm doing. In the movie or the film Headstock, there was a lot of Easter eggs that you could interpret it in different ways. So, that's something I like to do where you could think about different scenarios or what happened. So.
No, and I was actually going to ask you about that because I was paying attention to that. I was like, okay, I've noticed this and that. I'm not going to ruin the surprise because definitely people need to go and watch this. But it's good that you gave the hint that there are Easter eggs out there. So make sure you pay close attention to that. So I wanted to ask you also about your poster back here as well. So Oceanside music video with the QR code for the folks to scan. I'll ask you to post pictures about it as well. How did you come up with that?
So that one, you actually scan it, and it's a video of Cam's music. So shout out Cam again. That's his music video. So we did that at Sunset Market. So funny story about that one. That one's doing pretty good. It has like over 10,000 views, which is pretty cool. But who's keeping count? So that one was pretty cool because we flew a drone over the crowd. So that picture is like actually a part of the music video.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I wore a GoPro during it. So we were walking through the crowd shooting with everyone involved. So you don't know what's going to happen. There could be someone
it's true.
just messing with the video or doing whatever. So we were just walking through that crowd, just doing the music video, which is pretty cool.
Did you guys have any problems when that happened, or it was just like you were lucky?
Not really. Just people kind of looking at us like
they get weird stares.
Kind of weird stares, but I don't really care about that. So.
No, it's the same thing, especially when I'm like same thing when sometimes I'll pull out my drone too and I'll be flying it as well, and people are just staring and they're just in awe.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So people ask too. They'll be nosy. They'll be nosy. They'll be like, oh hey, do you got a license for that? You got a certification? I'm like, I got my paperwork right here.
Yeah. I like that. There was a music video we did also in Gaslamp where we pulled up in a limo.
Oh, shit.
And then he went to perform at a club. We came out the club and then did the music video outside, and people were looking, and we were blasting one of the songs music videos called Cocaine Cowboys. And we were just blasting it in Gaslamp, and people were just like taking their phones out recording. And that was like in the music video too. So that was pretty cool.
I saw that. And that I play that song a lot actually.
Cocaine Cowboys.
Yeah, Cocaine Cowboys, and it's phenomenal. How did you come up with the inspiration for that music video? What inspired you for that? That was actually pretty dope. Because it really matched. It matched really well with everything.
I'm trying to think of what made us come up with that idea. I mean, I don't really have a You can.
You just roll with
I
it.
just remember it being as thematic as possible. I remember that was the one video where we were like, we're gonna try to shoot this as if it's a movie. At least the first
It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
minutes of it.
So I want
If you can reiterate that.
Mm-hmm.
to. Yeah. So yeah, just shoot it like a movie,
Mhm.
doing different parts as if it were a short film, actually. Because before the music video actually starts, there's like a good 3 minutes
Mhm.
to the video that is before the music video. So like leading up to that.
Yeah, I was watching that. And that was pretty nice. Is that so? That you said that was your first one that you ever did, or is that like the second one? Or
No, it was probably, I've done a good amount
Okay.
before that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was like the first one where it was like kind of short film style music video. Yeah, so I want to do more of those too, where there's like a story leading up to the music video.
Okay, it sounds like there's gonna be some future projects in the works. Then
Oh yeah.
I might know some. That's neat, but I'm not gonna spill the beans on that. That's cool. No, and like I've said before, I really appreciate coming out here, taking your time, because I mean, busy man. I understand you're a man of many hats. You're doing this and you got a lot going on as well, and I appreciate all the love and support too as well. Like I said, my mission is to show the love and support of Oceanside, to show the talent, and from Oceanside to Carlsbad down in San Diego, just and even LA. And there's more phenomenal people coming our way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice you can give to any people that want to jump into this field, or even thought about going into this field? Is there any tips, advice at school, or what do you recommend for some people?
I actually didn't go to school for this, which is interesting. But I would say if you want to do it, don't be afraid to reach out to people. That's kind of what I did starting out.
That's cool.
I mean, that's how we came into contact too.
True.
But like, I would just say reach out to people, say, hey, I want to work on this. And even if you don't have the equipment or don't really know what you're doing, just do it.
True.
Because my first music video was horrible. And, the more you do it, the more you'll learn. And that's what I did. I just kept on doing it. I didn't really care about, anything else except doing it over and over.
And perfect your craft.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So I would just say just start.
True.
So, and you'll meet people along the way that will help and everything. So
It's honestly, it's really phenomenal. The people that you meet, the doors that open up, and the opportunities that just come out of it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I mean, is there any good experiences or any phenomenal or honorable mentions that you want to throw out there that like, oh, I met so and so, and they're the reason why I met so and so, or because of them. Like for me, it's if it wasn't for Balance, I wouldn't have met a lot of the people. It was my brother that introduced me to Balance, and I reached out to Balance too with the help of my brother as well. We set the first episode there, and he was actually my kickstart for my podcast interviews with artists and stuff. And from there, we built that connection, and he sent me a list of people, and I just started reaching out to them one by one, knocking episodes. There was a point where I was doing 2 episodes a day.
Wow.
Just knocking them out, trying to get as much film as I could.
That was good.
So it was great, and it's honestly a phenomenal experience to share that talent with the world and meeting all these people.
What's like the end goal for you with this?
So for me, honestly, the end goal is to be able to finally quit my day job. That's the one end goal, is to quit my day job, to be able to finally put an end to it, or not actually quit it, but I guess put a pause to it. Because I mean, what I do in the day, I'm low voltage technician, so I do anywhere from audio visual to I'll hang up TVs, I'll do camera installs, I'll do security system installs, pull data for the walls, fiber, you name it, I do all that. And one day I want to be able to just put a pause to it and not have to break my back no more with pulling all the cable, coming home like, oh, I'm really exhausted from doing all this all day, busting my ass for that. I want to be able to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And I got into this podcast field and love it. And my end goal with it is to be able to take care of my debt that I have first before I go and jump the gun and, oh, I'm going to go help so-and-so. Because everybody wants to do that right away. But you got to be able to take care of yourself first.
Right.
Before you can take care of others.
Water your own grass first.
True.
Yeah.
No, true. And no, I love that quote. That's great. Honestly. And for me, it's to continue to just share the talent with everybody. And one day, I mean, even if I meet bigger celebrities, that'd be the goal. The goal is to continue to keep going and never stop and build that generational wealth for me, my young ones, and for the folks around that that I live with too. And it's important. It is important and to share it. There's so much talent. There's so much talent, so much voice, and
props to you for doing this while you have your other job too. I know
Thank you.
That's pretty hard, and I feel like people don't really understand the work that you're putting into it. Also,
it is a lot, man, and it's crazy that you say that because like, now that I think about it, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job that doesn't pay, unfortunately. Right now that I started, it doesn't pay, but it will one day.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that with the sponsorship opportunities if that happens. Or
And not to cut you off,
no, you're good.
really quick, but
Yeah.
a lot of people. One advice I would give to people too is they look for the money right away, and you got to understand when you're starting out, you got to do it for free. Yeah. That's just what it's got to be. Even if you have another full-time job, do it at your job. I did that on my other job. No, they didn't know, but I would edit and do things at my job or right when I got home, and just do it for free, and then the money will come later. A lot of people look the reverse way. So.
Yeah, and it's and believe they believe it's an overnight thing, and it's not. Yeah. It's not. And when the day that the money does come rolling in, like my goal is to get back to the community, get back to Oceanside, and people to get people into this field too, because podcasting is for anyone that wants to express their voice. You don't have to be a professional at this. I mean, I wasn't a pro when I first started this. I was terrible. I have maybe 10, 15 pilot episodes that I have in the bank that I've never released. Yeah. And upgraded mics from little by little, and just the quality gets better over time. Yeah. And it's just the experience to show the growth with the audience. And that's the one thing that's really neat is show the world your growth. Yeah. And they see, oh, wow, he started with this music video, and now look at him now. It's like, oh, shit, that's really the same person?
Exactly.
So, I wanted to ask you, what about you? What is there an end goal for you for all this?
Yeah, so really I just want to give myself a big enough platform where I could do music videos for, whoever I would like. Mm-hmm. And then just building up the short films to just be bigger and bigger productions and projects. And then, I don't really have there's not really a cap on what I want to do. Like I'm open to doing anything creative, and
that's cool.
Even if I were to start clothes one day or make a movie one day, like I just want to be creative, and I think that's.
Is there any film festivals that you want to attend to, or that you're trying to get on for the folks that don't know anything about that?
Film festivals that I would want to submit it to,
or be part of.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really comes to mind as far as the names of them, but I just want to put my work out there, submit it to whoever and whatever I can. And I also want to help people and, teach people how to work on projects and create a big enough team with Double Tap Live where I could do that and just have like a team behind me. I already have a good little team.
That's pretty neat.
Expanding that and just pretty much working on whatever we want to work on.
No, I love that. I love that. You got a total control of it. You are your own boss on this, which is good with the help of others. Yeah. And it is hard to do this all on your own. Like it's hard to do a one-man team. I mean, I run on the podcast as a one-man team, but I do have help with from Balanty. He does all my cover arts actually for all my photos and stuff like that. Yeah. And from folks from introducing me to other individuals like that. So I do get the little help like that, and it's phenomenal. Especially I do appreciate everybody's time that. Out of your day, you come out here and meet me, or I come out and meet you, just to make it comfortable. Yeah. My whole experience is raw, genuine. You'll hear me stutter, and that's the whole thing. This builds that genuine connection with each other. Yeah. So
it's a part of it.
It is. Yeah. And
do you think you manifested this?
To be honest, I never imagined it. I never imagined I would get myself on a microphone. But it's funny that you said that, because I was talking to a friend of mine that back from high school. He's been serving in the Army ever since, and he was like, "Man, I knew you were always gonna have something. You were gonna be on camera, you're gonna be on video, or something like that, because you always made everybody laugh. You were always like a funny person." I was like, well, I never thought about it like that, and I mean, I've been working on like being on camera as well, learning how to actually look at the camera correctly, because sometimes it catch me just staring up in the ceiling. I do that a lot. Yeah, I do it a lot, but I would have never imagined that it actually would get this far. Yeah, and meeting all these faces, all these artists, all these talents, like sometimes I still can't believe it that it actually happened. Yeah, and even having this chance to be with you right now, just to be at this moment, it's phenomenal, and I can say it's like one message I can say to people. It's like nothing's impossible. Anything's possible. Nothing's impossible. You just got to put your mind to it.
It's all in the mind.
It is. And so I wanted to ask: is there as we come to almost an end, is there anything you would like to share with the folks around the loop, with the with the audience, with the world?
Yeah, I mean, there's, as far as Double Tap Live, there's
Mhm.
a lot of new projects coming soon. Short films, music videos, different podcasts.
Nice.
Always working on different things. And just going back to why we're starting this. We can't lose touch of helping people and helping creatives and putting Oceanside as a face for creativity. I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is. It is
So,
one of the biggest missions here.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for all the things that I've done with this, and it's pretty cool to. I have so many stories with all these music videos, but just it's really cool, and I'm really happy that I'm getting the chance to talk about it more, and
Yeah, I mean, have you ever been interviewed yourself? Because I know I've seen you interview others, but have you been
That's a good
interviewed
question.
yourself, or is this your first actual interview on you?
I've been interviewed on my own podcast with from other people, but no, I don't think I've been involved in
this personal level. Is it like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the first time. So.
No, I appreciate you opening up too, because it takes a lot too to be able to open up and just share a little bit about yourself, because that's where you show the you're vulnerable,
Right.
Your vulnerability with everybody and with the world. It is important. It shows that genuine connection. So I wanted to ask you, is there, like you mentioned, some crazy stories, any good stories from music videos that you shot? Is there any mentions that any stories you want to throw out there?
Really quick, I don't know how much time we have, but first, okay,
Perfect.
yeah, first video I did in LA was kind of a funny story. This guy, he actually, when I was living in New Mexico, I got introduced to this artist who lived in Kansas or St. Louis, whatever.
Okay.
And then called this dude and was like, "Hey, we should work someday." I don't know how, because you're over there and I'm over here, whatever. Got his information. When I moved back during COVID, he reached out and he was like, "I'm in LA, let's work."
Okay.
I said, "All right, let's work." So I drove to LA like the next day. I didn't even know this guy really. And that's the risk you got to take. You just got to do stuff. A lot of people are hesitant. Like, why would I drive out there with nothing guaranteed? But I was like, I'm going to drive out there just to have a conversation with this guy. Drove out there. We were supposed to just meet at like a Starbucks and talk about ideas. And he was like, "You know what? Come to my house," or he was staying with his girlfriend at the time, "and we'll try to get some shots in, or at least start thinking about an idea."
Okay.
It was very weird. It was like South Central LA. I pulled up to the house.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right when I pulled up to the house, his girlfriend's family was having dinner. It was kind of interesting because I just met this guy for the first time. I'm having dinner with this random family. My first 20 minutes of meeting him, and then he was like, "Hold on, I have this studio in LA. Like, we should try to do some shots tonight." And I was like, "All right, so let's do it." We booked the studio. Got to the studio, and it was Justin Bieber's engineer that actually was in the studio working with us.
Oh shit.
And he did like Justin Bieber's old songs, like
Yeah.
Never and all that. So first time in LA, just randomly had dinner with this random family, and then went to the studio, met Justin Bieber's engineer. And then like the next couple days, he had a show. He was like, "Oh, I'm performing in Hollywood, pull up." So I recorded at the show. And then we went to Malibu, we went to Hollywood, and this was just all like happening at the same time. Then that was a big moment where after that video, I had a lot more opportunities coming, and it would just be music video after music video. There'd be times where I'd drive to LA, get home at 3 a.m, next day do another video, just a lot of stuff like that. Work. So that was pretty interesting, and that was pretty cool to do that.
Have you had any times where you were supposed to meet up with an individual, or it was like you had the schedule out and they just didn't, they ghost you? Have you had that happen to you? Because it has happened to me for sure.
No, actually, no one's ghosted me or just not showed up or not paid. Really, everyone's been very good with with their business.
That's good.
This other time though, I was sleeping. It was like 3 a.m. I got like 30 missed calls. Like, that wasn't an exaggeration.
And I believe it.
From this guy, he was like, "I need like $300. Please send me the money. Like this guy did a song with Tyga.
Uh-huh.
He wants to do a song with me. Please like help me. He needs like studio time and we're going to work on this, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff like that. It's been a lot of weird moments where just like he called me like 30 times so I can help him out. And, you know, just like stories like that, or I don't know. Yeah, but no one's like ghosted me or anything.
That's good because I've had it happen to me where I've had a situation where I set up an interview with a local artist actually from the San Diego area.
Yeah.
And we were locked in and everything. I thought it was cool. And the week of, like, I reached out to him just to make sure, like, hey, do you have a location, everything? Nothing. The day of the interview, I see his Instagram and he's out in Vegas. I was like, oh, that's crazy. We're supposed to have an interview today in San Diego.
Yeah. That's
How you doing this? But
Doesn't
it's all
show up.
love, though. It's still love. And I'm not hating on nobody for this at all. It's a learning experience, too, because, I mean...
That story is for you to tell. Like, you wouldn't have that story unless that didn't happen.
Exactly. And, it's like, I if the artist does see this, no hate to you at all. It's all love. And when you are ready, just reach out back to me. I mean, we'll get it done. I'm not banning you from this at all. No. It was just due to lack of communication on his end. And that's just what happened. It's a real story. It's the nitty-gritty to it.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to ask you is... two questions before we start wrapping it up with this. So one question, if you were to see the younger version of yourself right in front of you, what message do you have for the little version of you? And it's all right, you can take some time to think about it because it's a big question.
I probably would have told him he's a complete failure.
Really?
In life.
What makes you say that?
Because then that would have pissed me off and I'll be like, no, you're wrong. And then I'm going to just go in and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's honestly, and I like your answer on that because that's very unique. Everybody has such a different answer, but that's by far one of the most unique answers.
I would have bullied him so that he just like he just works hard. Just push him over.
No, okay. So then one last message, one last question for the folks around the loop and for the folks around the world. What message do you have for people, for the audience?
Oof.
What's your message to the world? What's your message to the audience?
It's a great
It's okay.
question.
You can take some time to think about it because it's not. It is a deep question, and it's okay if you think your answer might sound dumb. It's not. Nothing. No answer's dumb. Nothing's. It's whatever comes out of your heart, your soul, dude. That's all you.
I would just say whatever you're doing, go all out with it. Don't just go crazy. Go all out. Don't half-ass anything. When I was like I had like 2 followers on Instagram, and I was making like videos or art. And when I would sit down and make the video, I would act like the whole world's gonna see it. And I was like, they're not, because I have like 2 followers or whatever. But like every single detail matters. I see some people like they post a video and it's like a screen recording on YouTube of like if I were to repost this and I just screen recorded it and you could see like all the videos below it, just of random videos, like at least crop it.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, just like every detail, just go all out. And you never know who's gonna see it, and that's something that I tell people also. When I sent the video to the guy in LA who worked with Kanye, I sent it and I took the risk. And you don't know who's gonna see this.
That's true.
Tomorrow, whenever you post this podcast, someone huge could see it.
This one actually,
and it can change your life.
I love this because this is going to be, since this is the final interview episode of the year. We have this episode coming out. Santa Claus is next. That's the next interview, which is pretty crazy. I actually locked an interview. That was fun. That was very fun.
Did you ask him why you keep on seeing him at different malls all the time?
No, honestly, I wish I would have asked him. It was more about like his personal life and try to keep it best to his character. Kind of got out of character a little bit, but he had a great message though to share with everybody, and his mission as Santa Claus and why he does what he does. So that was a phenomenal experience. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I had to ask Mrs. Claus for permission.
Oh wow!
It was, and this lady, like, she plays the role so well. It got me nervous for a second. I was like, oh, I'm really asking Mrs. Claus permission to have Santa Claus on this. But it was a phenomenal experience, and it definitely was great. So like I said, I really appreciate you taking your time today for being on this episode of Around the Loop. I appreciate everything, and like I said, I'll put your headstock link in the bio too, so everybody can check that out because that was a phenomenal video, phenomenal short film actually. My bad. And I'll also post this as well so everybody can see it. You know, and shout out to Camp 14K. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today to get this done.
Yeah.
So,
Follow
yes,
me at Double Tap Live.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Instagram.
And I'll put that in the bio too.
Website, doubletaplive.com.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for being on the episode of Around the Loop. Thank you.
Bitch, that mean I spun back. Run up on that bitch and tell that pussy nigga run that. Glock ain't got a dick, you know his bitch, she gon' be on that. Nigga talk about me, but he can't even get his hoe back.